today?
Here is what we are doing.
So we just got back from our 3-day Disney cruise, and we just wanted to talk about a few takeaways that we had from the travel experience. We've done many cruises, but so we're not first timers. However, we did do a few things different this time, including the first thing, which was taking the Brightline train down to Fort Lauderdale. Normally we cruise from Port Canaveral. However, this one left from Fort Lauderdale, so we decided to take this opportunity to try out the new train and see what that experience was like. So I booked it on their website, the official website, and it was a very easy process. Definitely easier than even booking a plane ticket, because there's not as much information that you have to provide. The whole experience overall was definitely easy. It was very quick and painless. Also, keep in mind, look for coupons, because she found a coupon online and saved us over $200 off the ticket. Prices weren't bad, but anytime you can save $200, that's nice. That knocked it down from, I think it would have been right around $500 without that, but instead it knocked it down to around $250, $300. So overall, the online experience was great. No issues there. They were a little vague online about the process as far as checking bags or not checking bags. What is security like? Things like that. However, I was able to dig through and find the information I needed. They said that basically you only need to arrive 15 to 20 minutes before the train is scheduled to depart. So it's not like a plane where they expect you to be there a couple of hours early and go through this long security line. What were your thoughts about the actual process of getting there on the ground once we got to the terminal? And just to let you know, if you're leaving from Orlando, you take the Brightline from Terminal C at the International Airport here in Orlando. So that's where you actually get on the train.
I thought the process was very clear. It was very reminiscent of a European train type of experience. If that's what they're going for, then they've hit it on the marks as far as where they have a place for luggage if you have a bigger bag, but ample overhead space or undercarriage or under seat space for your carry-on bag. And I agree that in general, you do not need to be there more than about 20 minutes prior to your train departure time. However, from a planning standpoint, my recommendation is to budget yourself an extra half hour for just in case things. For us, it helped us on the trip over in the morning because we took our time getting out of the house a little bit slower than we had planned. And then when you go into Orlando Terminal C, the airport side, you still have to traverse several different escalators, corridors, and escalators around to get to the actual Brightline terminal. They posted as 5 to 10 minutes walking. I would budget it as easy 10 minutes walking unless you are a sprinter.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so I would say that would be the things of, again, that extra half hour of just in case time. We used it on both ends. I think I would have been in a panic had we not planned that extra half hour of time.
Yeah, I agree. And, when we got there, I noticed that we didn't notice a lot of signage for Brightline. When we walked into the main terminal there at C, we were just kind of looking around, and then actually a local police officer kind of saw we had that sort of "where are we" look, and he actually came up to us and asked us if he could help us, and he basically pointed us in the general direction. So thank goodness for him. I mean, there were other employees there that could have helped, but he helped us right away. We were able to kind of get in the right direction. And once we got moving in that direction, we did start to see signs along the way. But it's interesting because I didn't expect that. I honestly had this in mind that I was going to go in, we were going to go into the terminal, and then we go down, and then there's the train, instead you get in there, you have to go, like she was saying, it's a real up and down process. You had to go up an elevator, walk all the way down, go down an escalator, go all the way across, go up another escalator and through. It was kind of a long winding trail to get there, but we got there, plenty of time, no issues. So as far as the waiting area itself, let's talk about security actually.
Security is fairly streamlined as well. It's a smaller station. It's a smaller security area. So again, that extra 30 minutes I was mentioning, a couple minutes, if you happen to arrive with several other folks arriving at the same time, if that security gets backed up, I can understand that could slow things down. But just be prepared to, very similar to the airport, to go ahead and put your items on into the security scanning system and have everything ready to go.
But unlike a plane, unlike the terminal for the planes, you don't have to take off your shoes or your belt or your electronics out of your baggage or anything like that. It was really quick. We didn't even wait 2 minutes, I don't think.
And it's not the 3 ounces is not applicable, or 3.2 ounces is not applicable.
The liquid rules do not apply for the Brightline. So once we got into the waiting area, there's it's called Mary Mary is the name of the company that runs apparently all of the different stations. We were only in 2 of them, but both of them had the same setup. But there's a general gift area. There is a snack and beverage area as well. And there's I'm not sure what you do to get part of the Premier Lounge, I think it was called. But there is a lounge off to the side for those who pay the Premier price. And that looks pretty recommended. I've seen other videos. It looks like it has some nice amenities in there if you want to take advantage of that. But again, the wait was so short, I would have kind of cheated. We would have cheated ourselves had we paid that price, because we're only going to be in there for 10 minutes, before they're calling us to board the train. So, and the boarding process was an absolute breeze. It was kind of interesting in that there was really no one there guiding you. They just made the announcement, said, okay, everyone, leaving now, for your destination, heading southbound, because if you don't know, the northern terminus of Brightline is Orlando, and then it goes down and makes multiple stops between Orlando and Miami. So once the train was getting ready to leave, they just made one quick announcement and said you can now proceed to the platform. Once you get down an escalator, you walk outside, go down an escalator, and you're on the platform. The train's right there ready to go. On your ticket, it does say that there's it tells you what coach you're in, and of course you have the ticket level that I purchased for us has seat reservations, because there is an option you can get where it's a little cheaper, where there are no seat reservations and you just take whatever is available that is not reserved in a different coach. And they also have basically their version of first class as well. We were basically in the second of the 3 tiers. But once you got to the platform, there really wasn't anybody there directing you or guiding you. You're just kind of left up to okay, where's the coach and where's my seat? And it was very quick and easy. And there was plenty of room for the luggage as well, correct?
Absolutely smooth process. We traveled with one traditional size suitcase, and then we each had our backpack or carry-on bag, if you will, that we had our other things in. So with the suitcase, we were able to turn it on its side, put it more in a storage area. If we had wanted to, it would have fit in the luggage holder above our heads. We just decided to leave it in the luggage holder.
There were other guests I saw that it took bags larger than ours and hefted them up and put them up there, and they fit
golf clubs.
Yeah, golf clubs, everything. They fit perfectly fine. They were like I said, they were bigger, heavier bags than ours. So yeah, so that is also an option if you're interested. And as far as the actual seats themselves, I found them very comfortable. There's no need for a seat belt. The leg room was good. You could stretch out your legs. It's a lot wider. The seats are wider, and there's more gap between the rows than in a traditional airplane. You were able to stretch your legs out. I never felt cramped or uncomfortable, and it was a 3-hour ride down to Fort Lauderdale where we disembarked. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was very comfortable.
2x2, it had a technology tray as well as a full tray if you wanted to have either a snack or your laptop out. If I wanted to complain about something, I would say if the seat could be maybe just a couple degrees back, a little further, it would have been an ask, but by no means was it uncomfortable. I was comfortable where I was, but just I like to sleep when I get on a train, so to be able to go back just a slight little bit more.
Do you? Do you sleep on the train?
I do. I sleep on the train.
I didn't notice. So upon our return, so this is something to keep in mind. So getting to the Brightline, we choose, there's off-site parking that we prefer. So we got there, got on the shuttle, and they dropped us right at the front door of the terminal. Now, the port in Fort Lauderdale was a new experience for us. When we arrived in Fort Lauderdale, we ordered a ride share. He showed up within about 10-12 minutes. and it was about roughly a 20-minute drive down to the port. We got right through the front gate. They checked our IDs. Everything was good. They took us over, and we were at Terminal 4 because we were on the Disney Dream. Dropped us there, and it was very smooth. However, coming back, when we were trying to get back to the port, we still had plenty of time. However, we did order a lift. We were ushered to the rideshare area. We ordered a lift. It was a little bit longer than I was thinking it would be, considering this is a high traffic, disembarkation area that, people are going to need rides over. You think there'd be closer cars. However, when we ordered, but part of it could have been because maybe there were a lot of people using those cars, but it started out around 20 minutes or about 19 minutes when I ordered it. And then I guess because of traffic, the wait kept getting longer and longer. It got up to about 25 minutes at one point, and then eventually got down to another 10, 5, 4, 3, and he showed up. But unfortunately, somehow he got directed the wrong direction around a different traffic corridor where we're not allowed to go. I actually made eye contact with the driver and waved at him, but he just kept going. And next thing we know, he's canceled the ride, and we're done. So now we were sweating a little bit, because at that point we're having less time. So now we've got to go and get another car. So another driver picked up our ride. But then at this point, of course, now we're worried because, the last one didn't work out. What's the guarantee that this one's going to work out? Are we just going to keep going through this cycle? And eventually that one worked out. He did get there within, I'd say, about 15 to 20 minutes. And we were able to get the ride over. And we got there again with, 15, 20 minutes to spare. Our train was leaving at 10:20, and we were at the terminal at 10. So, just a little nerve-wracking there for a few minutes, wondering if that was actually going to work out or not, or if we were going to have to figure out getting a taxi or something along those lines.
Or possibly bumping the train.
Right, yeah, that was also the other option.
The extra half hour did work out in the end, that we had planned that buffer time of just in case.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I would say Brightline was a very positive experience. The ride itself was very smooth. It wasn't a bumpy, uncomfortable thing at all. And they do serve beverages and snacks on there for a fee. It was a nice overall experience. What would you say? I would definitely do it again.
Great experience. Definitely do it again. To not have to worry about taking the cars down that far. I think the things that I would keep in mind is just planning that buffer time and being strategic about the train times that you select. I did have a colleague who took the train recently as well. They happened to encounter on their way back to Orlando about a 2-hour traffic delay. It was due to an unforeseen accident. That was just an unfortunate thing that happened. She still loved the ride, but if it was any sort of time constraint, just kind of give yourself a buffer in there. I enjoyed it immensely. I'll use it again.
Yeah, definitely highly recommended.
But we did find a workaround that we liked very much. When we came back to the Orlando station...
She found a workaround. She gets credit for this. I didn't even think about this.
Team effort.
I didn't even think about this, but this is really good.
When you leave the Brightline station, the first thing you come to are the trains, or the shuttle, if you will, that goes over to the main terminal, from Terminal C to Terminal AB, of the main Orlando International Airport. So we opted to hop that train over and catch our shuttle back to where our car was parked from the AB, versus going over the hill and through the woods to get to the Terminal C pickup area, which is distance-wise a bit longer. It also gave us the excuse of seeing how the train went from Terminal AB to C, in case we have a plane thing. Yeah. So we hopped on AB, picked up 2 minutes later, zipped on over. The connection is at the hotel side on Terminal B. So we stepped right off of that tram. It comes in very near where the security checkpoint is. We walked around the corner past the checkpoint, took the escalator straight downstairs to the luggage level, one level further down to level 1, where rideshare and shuttles were picking up. Walked down to our spot, and ironically there happened to be a driver there waiting for us. Not waiting for us, but waiting for passengers, and we were those passengers, so it saved us a few steps on the way out. So I do think if we're strategic about it in the future, that we will utilize the drop off maybe on the AB side and shuttle over and back to see if we're utilizing the train, just knowing what that walk is. But if we're feeling like we need to get a few extra steps in, then it's always a great walk. It wasn't a terrible walk, but...
Right, because to be clear, the shuttles that go from Terminal AB to Terminal C, when you get to Terminal C, they do drop you off right next to where you have to get on the Brightline. You just take the one escalator up, walk around the corner, and you're there, as opposed to the long process we described at the beginning of this video. So yeah, that was a very, very smart move on the end. So we may, going next time, we may try the reverse of that, see if that works out.
I also think it depends on how much luggage we have. If we're just going a day trip and we each have a day bag, it's not as much.
Yeah.
But if we're schlepping into a couple different suitcases here and there because we are going down for an international flight or something, then that can make the difference.
Sure.
So this trip on Disney's Dream included not only a stop to Castaway Cay, one of my favorites, but a stop at the very new Lookout Cay Lighthouse Point.
That's easy for her to say.
On an island that I'm not even going to try the name because I will not get the island name correct.
Yeah, unlike Castaway, this is not a solitary island owned by Disney. They basically bought a section of it, as it were.
Absolutely. And one of the first things, if you pull it up, you'll see is that it is an island that needs to be tendered in. But in lieu of having tenders, there is a very large bridge from where the boat docks to where you actually get to the island. It was a lovely breezy day, nice and cool breeze coming through. And with that, the walk wasn't bad. I would say that if that breeze wasn't there, if it was a swampy feeling day, it would have been a little bit of a long walk.
Yeah.
But it's a long walk no matter what. But it was bearable. It was nice. You could stop and take photos, take in the surrounding parts of the island of what we could see. But it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was. And I'm glad I've now seen it for myself as opposed to all the reviews and the like. You have to see it for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
But it is a great entryway into Lookout Cay.
It took us, about 20 minutes just walking at a normal to slow pace?
I'd say 20 minutes, but we also did stop, and I want to take a picture of this.
Sure.
And
We stopped and took a couple photos and did a little video here and there.
So maybe if you were hoofing it, maybe in that 12 to 15 minute range. But
exactly. So yeah, keep in mind there are no trams or shuttles or anything like that will take you from the ship to the island, or to the island along that walkway, unless there are certain special circumstances, of course.
Yes, so they did have some information. There's no main tram service.
Right.
They do have some accommodations for those who have specific needs that you coordinate directly with the cruise line team on, which we did see going and taking care of some of those guests who absolutely needed it.
Yeah,
but for those of us who really needed those extra few steps, it was great.
Yeah.
I'm working off the ice cream.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of soft serve. So, so as far as what were your impressions of the actual island itself?
It was different. I thought it was different.
Yeah, it was a different layout. I enjoyed it though. It was definitely not like Castaway Part 2. It wasn't just a carbon copy of Castaway.
And the water was a different blue.
Yeah.
So being in the same region and that water being so differently blue, it was neat. It
was interesting, yeah.
I enjoyed it very much. We made it a day. Our kind of go-to is to kind of go and find the best seated area and stay there for the day when we go to the private islands. But we decided to make it a just kind of walk around, see things sort of day for us. So we stopped to see the Junkanoo story, which is very interesting. You'll see in the video, Alan did some dancing and the like in there.
I don't know if they're going to see that in the video. There's video of it, but I don't know if that's going to see the light of day.
He did a really good job. And then we did go down, made sure to put our feet in the ocean. A little bit warmer than Castaway, so we were excited about some warm water. Then Castaway not as warm, but walked in the water a bit, walked around the island a bit. We opted to not have lunch at Serenity Bay. We opted to have lunch at
True Blue 2?
True
or
Blue
True
2.
True 2.
True 2.
There's
yes.
True, and then there's True 2, TOO. and then there's the one in Serenity Bay. And
Yes.
Serenity Bay is the 18 and over area, in case you're not familiar.
Yeah, but they're all located together, unlike Castaway.
Yeah,
that
unlike
has
Castaway,
separated.
everything is separate, and you have to take a tram to get from one section to the. This is all just right next to each other. You literally just walk past a wall, a sign that says 18 and older area only, and then you're there.
Yeah. It's separate.
Yeah, it's
But-
definitely separate.
Divided.
Yeah, but you don't have to take a tram to get there like on Castaway.
But we had lunch at True
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Great lunch.
The standard fare that you see if you've been on one of these cruises and you've gone to Castaway,
Chicken,
ribs,
ribs.
rotisserie chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs.
Grilled chicken
they had
sandwich.
rice bowls, grilled chicken, fried chicken sandwiches, things like that. Yeah, it was all quite tasty. Yeah, definitely about the same exact fare you get at Castaway.
A little different. Slightly different.
You think a little different?
Yeah.
Okay.
And different enough that a lot of the core items are the same, but then the salads were a bit different. They did
Okay,
have
yeah.
a little bit of different entrees, a little bit,
Yeah.
just enough to mix it up a bit. I think if you were only doing one private island stop, don't think that would have been as noticeable. But because this particular cruise was, let's go to Castaway, let's go to Lookout, and it's back to back, you were seeing it as kind of the same.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. It's not really only one trip. It's hard to compare and say which one's my favorite. If Lookout's not my favorite or Castaway, there are pros and cons to both for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the layout. And one thing I will say, if you've been watching reviews, especially the early reviews, there were a lot of complaints, and I'm sure they were well founded, of a large number of flies congregating around the eating areas and around the buffet areas. Looks like they've taken care of it, because I honestly didn't see a single fly anywhere. And she said she saw one or two
flies.
here and there, and that was it. But in the
flies.
past, people have been talking about swarms of flies around the food, that it's to the point it's like they need to take care of that. So maybe they listened and took care of it, because I didn't have a single problem with the fly anywhere. So that's good, in case you've gone and you're looking to see if they ever fixed it. According to what we saw that day, there was not a problem.
I saw an acceptable number of flies that you see at any picnic you'd have anywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was fewer than what I've seen when I've taken a regular picnic. So yeah, no, definitely no complaints from me on any of that at all. So, all right, any other thoughts about Lookout?
Some great shopping and some very specific to Lookout merchandise, which was nice. So a few little fun treats there. No trip is complete without a few takeaways and goodies. We typically our go-to is...
Swag.
Well, okay, swag.
Kind of.
Our typical go-to is we get a magnet for each of the places we go,
Which we
because
did not do.
we did not do that. No,
We did not
But I did
get
not
a
see a
Lookout.
magnet.
I didn't even look. I
I
didn't
didn't
think
see
about
one.
it.
But we typically do a magnet for each location that we've gone, and we have some up, and then we have some that are needing a up home. That's a whole other video.
A whole other video.
A whole other video. But we try to do that because magnets are small and they can very easily fit in suitcases. But we did have some fun findings on this particular trip. So
So I picked up this particular t-shirt, which the front is here, pardon the sticker, that's the front, and then it's got the same logo, just much larger on the back.
and I also opted for a shirt. And I love that it has established 2024 and then just a little icon on the back. So where he has wearing,
Little on the front and big on the back, she's got the reverse of that.
I had the reverse of that. Usually not a t-shirt buyer, but I wanted that one because I just really, really liked that one. And then I also wanted to up my hat game and do a Lookout hat.
There you go. I like that one. I like the color on that one.
It's nice and pink, right?
And we also got a sign.
Yes, and now this was not exclusive to Lookout Cay. This is more just a cruise line item, but we do have in one of our rooms beach type theming, so we thought we'd get this.
Yep. Mickey on the hammock saying, and the saying is, "This is your time to. This is your sign to relax."
Yep.
Yeah.
And this pattern, they've actually had a couple shirts as well as a couple, one or two other patterns that have this style. I kind of call this the Jimmy Buffett style of shirts that were really, really popular about 20 some odd years ago. but things return, and looks like that style is returning. And then to help save the environment, they are not using as many. We're actually not using plastic bags at all. They're only using purchasable, reusable totes. So yay for supporting the environment and giving us a new grocery tote so we can swap out one of our totes that is on its last leg for our reusable grocery bag trips.
So that's a little taste of what we picked up and purchased on the island. And yeah, that was, like I said, a great trip overall. Loved Lookout Cay, and definitely will be going back.